Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3 of chapter 1. Inside the discipline of economics, you can find macroeconomics and microeconomics. Macroeconomics studies the entire economy as a whole. Therefore, the concepts are all aggregated. Here are some examples. GDP, gross domestic product. This gross domestic product includes all of the final goods and services produced inside a country. So that is an aggregated concept. National income is all of the income that is made by all of the citizens in that country. So that is also aggregated. Unemployment is another one. It includes all of the workers who want to work but couldn't find a job. And inflation is the overall prices of all of the goods and services. If they are increasing, then that is a inflation. Microeconomics studies how households and business firms make decisions. For example, the number of workers a firm hires. This is a firm's decision. Amount of money a person spends. Now this is a household's decision. Which job a person applies for. This one is also a household's decision. So these are in microeconomics. Now let's do some exercise. The average national income has been growing. Is that macro, micro, or neither? Let's take a look. First of all, average national income is the key word here. National income is the total income made by the whole country. Even though you average it, but still it is everybody's income average, right? So that should be macro. Very good. Okay, let's see the second one. A grocery store chain decided to open 2 new stores next year. So this one is micro, right? A grocery store is one firm. The firm makes a decision they're going to open 2 stores next year. So that's why it is micro. Next one. 2 people decided to get married next month. Now this is a decision. It is an individual decision. However, it doesn't have anything to do with how to turn the resources into goods and services and let people consume. So this decision is not economics decision. So that's why it should be neither. Get it? Okay, next one. A person decides to vote Adam Smith for president. Well, voting who becomes the president is a choice. However, it has nothing to do with how to turn resources into goods and services to satisfy people's wants and needs. This is a political choice, so it doesn't belong to economics. That's why it is also neither. Okay? Now, let's see what is the Economist method of study. In stage 1, economists gather the facts. These facts are economic facts. So after we have the facts, we have the database. And then we try to explain the facts. What is the relationship between the facts? Which one caused the other one? A hypothetical explanation of how the economy works is economic theory. After that, we'll go back to stage 1. We gather new facts, generate new data to see if the theory works. If the theory works, if the new facts support the theory, then the theory will stay in economic theory. But in case it doesn't work, that is, if the new facts do not support the theory, we will then have to think about why, and we need to have a new explanation. So that is the new theory. This method of study is scientific method of study. For the scientist, they do experiments, they gather the scientific facts, and then they try to explain how things work. So in economics, we do the same in stage 1 and stage 2. Some of the economists will go out to become a economic policy advisor or become an economic policy maker. So they are no longer work as if they are a scientist, because economic policy maker is working in a government. So they have the value judgment. They believe that this policy must be benefit American people or improve the well-beings. Then they impose the economic policy. An example is President Reagan. President Reagan has an economics degree and he becomes America's president. So this is the economist method of study. So because the method of study is different, we have a positive economics and normative economics. Positive economics describes what things in an economy are and how they work. So if you take a look at the first one, describe what things in an economy are. This is in fact stage 1, gather the facts, right? After economists gather the facts, they describe it, tell people what the facts are. So that is stage 1. Stage 2, explain how the facts works, explain how the economy works, which is the theory that is in here. Explain how it works. So all of this belongs to positive economics. Positive economics does not tell you this is good, this is bad. It does not tell you this is right, this is wrong. It only tells you what the things are and how they work. We also have normative economics. Normative economics evaluate and judge. It tells you what shouldn't be done, good or bad, great or poor. So when economists work in stage 3, when they serve as economic policy maker or economic policy advisor, they are working in this normative economics. For example, during the coronavirus pandemic, the government has a shelter-in-place order. People must stay at home. Many businesses closed. So, lots of people lost their income. Lots of small business also lost their income. So one of the economic policy is to have the family release fund. People receive $1,200 if their income is below $75,000. This economic policy belongs to normative economics because the government believes that this is what we should do. This policy is good because it helps the unemployed, it helps everybody who lost their income. So this belongs to normative economics. Okay, now let's have some exercise. Classify the following as positive or normative statement. the unemployment rate in April 2020 was 14.7%. All right, so is this positive statement or is this normative? It is positive, right? It actually describes the facts. It doesn't tell you good or bad. It just say this is what happened in April. Very good. The second one, the unemployment rate of 14.7% is too high. The current administration has done a poor job on reducing the unemployment rate. All right, so I'm not saying this is the correct statement or incorrect statement, true or false. I just want you to judge to see is this a positive or normative. Let's see. Actually, this is judging, right? It says that it's poor job, right? And then it says that the unemployment rate is too high. So that tells us that this is value judgment and it is a normative statement. Next example. Prices rise when the government prints too much money. Is this positive or normative? Prices rise when the government prints too much money. Not really clear, isn't it? Well, why don't we take a look at the next one? Government should not print too much money because it would cause inflation. Is this positive or normative? The second one is normative, right? Because it said government should not print too much money. And the reason is it causes inflation. So right here on the second statement, it actually shows you that the author doesn't like inflation, believe inflation is bad. That's why it suggests the government do not print too much money. So you can see the value judgment in here. So that one is normative. Go back to the first one. Prices rise when government print too much money. Now, in fact, the author just tells people how things works. When government prints the amount of money which exceeds some certain level, becomes too much, inflation will occur, prices will rise. So it doesn't tell you good or bad. Because of that, this one is positive. Okay? Okay, let's see another example. The government should lower taxes to encourage more work. What do you think? Positive statement or normative statement? Okay, now the keyword here is should. It suggests the government to lower the tax. The reason is to encourage more work. So the author must believe that encourage more work is good. That is why he suggests the government to lower the tax. So it has a value judgment here. Therefore, this one must be normative, right? Very good. Okay, the next one. It reduces people's incentive to work if they have to pay more tax on their wage earnings. What do you think? Reduce people's incentive to work if they have to pay more tax on their wage earnings. Now this one tells how things works, right? It doesn't tell you good or bad. It just says that if they have to pay more tax, then what happens is their incentive to work is going to go down. So because of that, this one is a positive statement. Very good. So, how much have you learned from this chapter? Have you learned something new? Remember who you are, why you are learning? You are an investor, right? how much you learn is how much you invest. So, good job, investors. Congratulations. I will see you in the next chapter.